Since December, Haystack Mountain School of Crafts has been celebrating the 75th anniversary of the school's founding. One of the things that we are doing to celebrate and recognize Haystack's history is the creation of Haystack in a Box, which is a compilation of objects, reproductions of archival materials, and some of the special treasures that we found about the history of the school while preparing for this anniversary moment. Haystack in a Box was conceived by a number of members of the Board of Trustees and the staff. The box itself was created by one of our studio coordinators, Brad Willis. It was made at Haystack, and it uses a number of design and fabrication techniques that are both specific to the school, and then there's some great visual elements to it that are meant to evoke the studio spaces themselves. The box is designed to help us bring the story of Haystack's history to communities all over the country in small and large events to audiences as far as California and as close to home as Deer Isle. Included in the box are reproductions of archival material from Haystack's collection, including this photo album that we've used to recreate and evoke a feeling of the 1950s and the 1960s. These include snapshots of people working on campus, as well as examples of some of the traditions that participants would remember from their experience at Haystack even today. Also included are reproductions of a portfolio of photographs that were taken by photojournalist Richard Clive Saunders. These record a special session from 1974 that was done in conjunction with our first director, Fran Merritt, and the weaver, Alan Fannin. This Africa session brought together craftspeople from across the continent of Africa, as well as Black craftspeople from the United States, in a series of special workshops. We also have our journals, which were called the Annals of the Night's Watch. These were records that were kept by participants who were tasked with maintaining safety and security of the campus overnight. And we have a couple of compelling entries that we wanted to share with you. This journal's from 1983. And we have first an entry from July. Bright morning sky. Last night at 11, we had clams steamed in the raku kiln in ceramics. Maggie up late in metals. Marcia working like a beaver trying to finish her lace before heading to mass for the weekend. Didn't throw last night, and it felt good to be indolent. A warm, starry night, very little moonlight. Kitchen still having trouble with the toaster. It seems to eat as much bread as the folks eating breakfast. July 12th of 1983. The raccoon has been bringing her young by every night now. I guess she's breaking him in to keep the future night watch on its toes. So in addition to all of the paper archival material that we have included in the box, we have a number of really compelling and exciting physical objects that all come from the various studio disciplines that we teach at Haystack. We have these wonderful pieces of wood that were produced by one of our former faculty, Annie Meyer. These are examples of the work that can be found in our wood studio. We also have work that was created for the box by Joyce J. Scott, one of our illustrious alumni who actually joined the school in 1974 for that Africa session and then came back to Haystack in 1976, where they were taught this peyote stitch by Sandy Fife Wilson, an indigenous artist who was teaching at Haystack that summer. And so these are examples of that stitch that are available to see in the box. But the last that I'm going to share with you today is this collection of cullet that was recovered from the woods behind the wood studio at Haystack, which we think is left over from the early experimentations in the 1960s, led by Harvey Littleton and the temporary glass furnace that he created there. It's in a piece that was blown here at Haystack by our programs and studio director, Anna Lehner, who created this in order to store all of this historical material. Thank you for joining us for a preview of the Haystack in a Box. We also want to thank you for supporting Haystack during this, our anniversary year. Please go to our website. There are many ways to support our work. And to take us out, we have a recording of the iconic Haystack bell tower that was produced by Steve Norton and made in the Fab Lab using digital components.